Hello everybody, Ken Hertz here, and this is The Joy of Mixing. Today we are going to be taking a look at a new plugin, relatively new plugin. This is the Kit Plugins BB N105. This plugin's been out for, I want to say, 2 weeks or so. So what is this? This is the Neve 8078 console down at Blackbird Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. And they went through, they modified that console at Blackbird Studios, John McBride and his team, and they came up, I guess in conjunction with Kit Plugins, came up with this little plugin here that is to emulate that console. And so we're going to go ahead and put this plugin through its paces. I will say, just messing with this for the past couple weeks, I really like it. I think it sounds pretty nice. I'm gonna just show you what I like about it. Also, there's one thing I don't like about it. It tends to be a little bit finicky, which I'll explain and we'll get to that. Let's go ahead and talk about where we are. We're here in Logic Pro. The song is Someone Better Comes Along from the artist Mary Spender, and I'm actually going to be doing a mix breakdown of this song. So you want to stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming up soon, maybe another week or so. But let's go ahead, let's take a look at the Kit Plugins BB N105. So what do I have going on here? I have this plugin on the kick. Let's go ahead and turn the plugin off and focus only on the kick for now, just so you can kind of hear what's going on there. So our kick is a combination of a kick mic and a kick sample. And now let's go ahead and throw on the BB N105. Now, being that this is a mic, I'm treating this kick as if it were mic'd up to the console. So first thing we want to do is we have a line and mic switch here, and I'm going to go ahead and switch this over to mic. And I also want to throw just a little bit of gain on this kick, and you can see instantly it kind of changes the sound in a good way. It sounds really nice to me. Now, one finicky thing I'll point out, especially with the gain. Let me pull the volume down here. With the gain, is you can go like this with your, if you have a mouse, like I have an Apple mouse, it doesn't have a spin wheel, just, you kind of move it with your finger. And if you do that unknowingly, and you have this track at full volume, it scared the hell out of me the first time I did that. So Kit Plugins, if you guys are watching, maybe fix it so you can't just kind of do that with your finger, because yeah, it scared the hell out of me. So just something to keep in mind. Typically what I do is, let me bring this back up to 0. Typically what I like to do with this plugin is just point at the setting I want and click, right? So if I'm here, if I want a little bit of high end, say I want 10K on the high end, just go to 10K, click, and I'm there. I don't really mess around too much with the knob, so to speak. I will when it comes to boosting or cutting frequencies. I'll play with the knob. But yeah, if I want, I want 4.7K, boom, I'm there. I want 330 hertz, boom, I'm there. So that part about this plugin I really like. Now let's go ahead. I'm going to just turn this track back on here. Okay, so we got our gain set to 20. On the kick, what do we want? Let's say, well, first of all, let's start from the low end. I'm going to just set the high pass at 27. So we have our filters down here, right? We have our high pass and low pass filter. Low pass would be on your right hand side, high pass would be on your left hand side. Right below our filter here, we have the phase invert, right? So we can hit the phase button, and that's going to flip phase. And then we can take in the EQ, punch it in, or take it out. I really like the EQ on this plugin, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it on. One thing I do want to talk about, I know I'm kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit, but just listen to this kick. Let me put this back online and take the gain down. Listen to this kick with the plugin on, and now without the plugin. Right, so it doesn't really seem to color. It doesn't really seem to color the signal a whole lot, which I really like. This plugin seems to be really transparent. Again, this is without the plugin. So that's really cool. I really like having that transparency on this plugin. Some plugins add their own little, like, you know, color to a sound, and I don't always want that. So I really like this about this plugin. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to throw it back over to Mike. Let's just throw 20 dB on the gain. Now, let's go down to, again, down to the low end here. So we're going to high pass at 27 Hertz, just to kind of get rid of some low end rumble, nothing crazy. And for me, boosting at the kick, typically 50 to 60. The default here is 56 Hertz. So let's put a little low end on that kick. Now, let's say you don't want the shelf. These are default to higher, you know, a shelf, basically, not so much like a peak. But what if you wanted a peak? Let's say we wanted to boost 56, not, you know, a shelf boost, an EQ shelf boost, but just a peak boost. So we have our peak here, little peak button there, so that changes it now from a shelf to a peak. And then we have our high Q, which again is kind of narrowing that peak. I really like just going in here and boosting at 56. To me, it sounds great. Okay, let's say, hey, you know, maybe it's a little bit kind of just too boomy sounding, a little muddy sounding. So we can go ahead. Let's just say we wanted to back off 330. And I mean, what I like about this plugin is you tell it what you want it to do and it does it. And that to me is really, really cool. Okay, let's say, hey, you know, we want to hear a little bit of click on our kick here. So again, just going to the frequency I want to boost by clicking at the number right on the plugin, and we're there. So there you go. We could drive it a little bit harder if we wanted to, and just pull the fader down. Not going to worry about that too much right now. Let's go to what we have going on here, analog hum. So as with any analog gear, you know, it typically tends to put out a hum. You can't really tell much of a difference unless you're using this plugin on a lot of different sources where you start to pick up that hum. For me, I mean, yeah, why not? Throw in the hum. You have a level here, 1, 2, and 3. You can set it to whichever. You know, if you want a little bit more hum, go to 3. If you don't want a whole lot of hum, go to 1. Or if you don't want any, just go ahead and turn it off. I'm gonna leave it on. Okay, so let's hear this in the actual track now.
And up for this game, so triangular. You, me, her, running back and forth. The rules all hers. Who came? She drove me.
I think I like 5.6 hertz for my click. And again, without the plugin.
I guess I should end this one.
So not a bad kick sound, and you know, all we did was play with some EQ, throw the mic on, And that I really love this plugin. It's just simple to use. It gives you what you want right out of the gate. Doesn't really color the sound much when you insert it on the channel. Really like that. Let's go ahead and move on to the snare. Here's our snare. Okay, so we're on the snare track here. We have our BB N105 up. Let's go ahead, same deal. I'm going to treat my snare track here as if I were miking it up to the console. So switch over to mic. Go ahead and throw 20 on. Let me just hear this real quick. Again, if you wanted to drive it a little bit harder, you could. And then, hey, maybe just go ahead and pull the fader down here. Alright, so what we have is the brushes here hitting the snare. And same deal here. Let's say, hey, you know, I want a little bit of air on my snare. Who doesn't like air on their snare, right? Maybe you come down here, it's high pass at about 47. What the heck, maybe throw in a little bit of 100 just to kind of give us a little 180 just to kind of give us a little bit of bottom end, nothing crazy. Maybe scoop out a little ugly 330. And that's it. We could, of course, go ahead and throw on some hum. And we'll just leave it set at the #1 setting there. What if we said, hey, I don't know if I really like this EQ? Well, go ahead and take it out. If you just want the emulation of the console, just want to hear how it sounds coming through the console, go ahead and turn the EQ off. But for me, I typically use this plugin for its EQ, so I'm going to leave it on. Now in the track.
Who came off worse? She drove me insane.
All right, let's move right along here. One of my favorite uses for this particular plugin is the bass. So I have my bass bus here, and with the bass, a little bit of distortion isn't a bad thing on the bass. So let's go ahead, solo it out. Bring it up a little bit so you can hear it better. So right out of the gate, we got a pretty good bass sound. But what if we wanted to drive it a little bit more? You know what? Flip over to mic, that always helps. Again, treating this as if it were mic'd up right to the console. I'm going to pull down the fader because I know we're going to get a little loud. Maybe a little too much gain there. That's right, getting a little bit of saturation, which incidentally, if you don't want saturation, you can turn it off. Okay, again with the bass guitar, let's say, hey, we don't want all that low end messing with our kick drum, so we're going to go ahead and high pass at 47. Then of course you always want to throw a little bit of boomy in your bass. We can overcook it, right? That's overcooked. We just want a little bit. Maybe we want, you know, a peak instead of a shelf. That's really it for me. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that's really it. You know what? Let's go to 1,000 hertz. Put a little nose on that bass. Again, we can overcook it. Right? Now it sounds like it was kind of recorded through a telephone. We just want a little bit of nose on there, not too much. Wonderful sounding plugin. I really do like this plugin a lot. Kudos to Kit Plugins. If you haven't checked this plugin out yet, I suggest you go and check this one out. $99 US, I think, is the going price right now for this plugin. Definitely worth checking out. Let's go ahead and listen to it in the track.
I'll be waiting, someone better worthy of a song. I guess I should end this one.
Okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead, we'll take one more look at this on the vocal track here. And again, I don't know why Logic wants to mess with my screen here, so I'm just gonna come off screen and we're gonna go ahead and bring her on over. So there's a couple plugins. I gotta figure out why this is being blocked right now, but it is. I have a few plugins going on her vocal track. Let me solo it out here. Let's just go ahead and give it a listen.
Someone better come along. I'll be waiting.
So I went ahead and took away all of the other processing I had going on her vocal track here. So now we have the vocal. Let me hit play here.
Someone better
Again, treating her track as if it was mic'd to the console. You can, I do use this plugin in line as well. Let's say if I want to bus her vocal over to sidechain compression or something of that sort, on that bus, I will go ahead and throw this plugin on as, you know, as a line input, not as a mic input. Don't want the coloration really in a bus, just more or less what the console has to provide without EQ is what I'm looking for. So I do use line, but in instances where, you know, it's bass or it's guitars or it's a vocal or a kick drum or a snare or whatever, I treat it as though it were mic'd up to the console. So that's that. Let's go ahead and hit play.
Someone better come along.
Again, switching to mic.
I'll be waiting. Someone better worthy of
Now, if you want to take this vocal to the edge,
I guess I should end this one. I secretly hope that she hears this. Does she know?
now we've overcooked it.
You were fearless. You jumped right in, met me there. When did she make you so
That's right on the cusp.
Someone better come along. I'll be waiting. Someone better.
Now, I like that out of the gate. I haven't heard that in the track yet, but that takes us right there, right? We're not jumping over the cliff, but we're definitely on the edge. Let's go ahead. I'm going to take out, I'm going to go up to 82 for the high pass filter. I'm just going to come in and pull out a little bit of 390. Let me
Someone better come along.
see, we don't want a thin vocal.
I'll be waiting. Someone better worthy of a song.
Just taking out a little bit of the muddy spot.
I guess I should end this one.
Say we wanted to put a little bit of air on there. I'm going to go up to 15.
Someone better come along.
Now you notice these moves I'm making are pretty subtle moves. I'm not,
Someone better worthy of a song.
not really throwing a whole lot of EQ on here.
I guess I should end this one.
Let's go ahead and hear this in the track.
Someone better come along. I'll be waiting. Someone better worthy of
And what the heck, we'll throw some hum in there. Let's go to number 2.
I guess I should end this one.
I'm going to go ahead and off screen just throw in the rest of these plugins I have. I'll show you real quick. I know it's not really part of the demonstration here, but we have some Soothe 2, a little bit of 1176. We got a little bit of LA2A, and then topping it off again with Soothe 2. Just to give you an idea of what this chain consists of here. Sounds really nice.
I'll be waiting, someone better, worthy of a song.
Okay, folks, so that is it. That is the Kit Plugins BB N105. Definitely check this plugin out. Take it for a spin. Let me know what you think. Is it something that you can see kind of working into your workflow and how you mix? I really love this plugin. I think it's excellent. I think it does a great job. Like I said, gives you what you want right out of the gate. Just a little finicky. Gotta watch that mouse control. Outside of that, this is a great plugin. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please let me know down below. Subscribe to the channel so you can get more content similar to this. And if you liked the video, leave me a thumbs up. That is it, folks. Until next time, happy mixing, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.